What's up, everybody? I'm here with another book review. This time, I want to talk about a book from the original classic series of Goosebumps. This is The Werewolf of Fever Swamp. Now, before I get started, I do want to say I am sick, so I probably should have waited to do this review, but I have a lot of I had a little bit of free time, and I wanted to knock it out, um, and really start on something else. I felt like I'd forget about a lot of stuff, but yeah. So yeah, let's knock this out. And if I cough or sneeze, if I sneeze, I'll probably start the video over because my sneezes are not good right now. But yeah, I'm gonna show you first the three copies that I have of this book. I have the Werewolf of Fever Swamp from the what is this 2015, I think, reprint. This here has a Q&A with R.L. Stein about werewolves and dogs and stuff. It has a stats thing for the werewolf, which I didn't really like because it says his last appearance was in werewolf skin. This is a different werewolf, but whatever. Um, it also has like a thing about the moon and the what moons do to people and stuff. I know a little bit about that. So pretty cool stuff. Yeah. The next one I have is this reprint edition from like 2008. Pretty cool. And finally, the original copy, which is the one I'll probably be holding up. So let me start by saying when I was growing up, I was very big into wolves and werewolves and different things like that. Um, I remember growing up when I was in school. There was this girl in my class that had this book that I didn't know. And let me take you back a little bit because when I was growing up, I didn't have internet. I know. It's like, yeah. Even people now, my friends make fun of me because it's like, I really never bought internet as an adult either. But yeah. So I didn't know what this cover looked like. And the cover art is what really drew me into Goosebumps and reading and stuff like that. So I remember there was this girl in our school, and I was talking, and I really wanted to know what the Werewolf of Your Swamp cover looked like. And the girl said that she had it, and I was like, well, do you want to sell it or do you want to bring it? And I think I asked, like, could you just bring it? Let me see what the cover looked like some weirdo. But she said she'll sell it to me. I was like, oh. I was like, how much? She was like $1. Now, I think I stated in my TBR that I wanted to review this for Father's Day because I do have a funny story about this, and this does tie in with my dad. My dad is like no other, love him to death. But yeah, and even to this day, he'd probably still do some stuff like this. Um, I think I mentioned in my Cuckoo Clock of Doom review. If not, I'm gonna mention that now. I had a Cuckoo Clock of Doom book that the cover was falling apart, and my dad literally took Scotch tape and just taped it across. So it's kind of dad that I had. I mean, I'm very humble and thankful for that. But yeah, so I told my dad when I came home from school one day, I was like, hey, I was like, this girl at school has this book that I really, really want. I was like, I don't have any money. Like, can you buy it for me? He was like, how much does she want for it? I was like, $1. He was like, okay. And keep in mind, too, this was way past the where you can order books online. We actually tried that. I do remember that, too. Another fun memory. But yeah. I actually got into Goosebumps a little bit after the. Sorry, that sounded really bad. I got into Goosebumps a little while way later than when it was originally popular. So I asked my dad for $1, and he literally gave me penny rollers, which I don't know if any of you know what I'm talking about, but it's like these little rolls of pennies, and they're like in these little brown things. And he gave me some nickels and just different things like that. Like it wasn't all like penny rollers, like because I'd be like a lot, you know. But like he gave me like a good. It was just weird to carry around, and I was so nervous that this girl was not going to sell me this. But I think if I remember right, she actually said that she would have gave it to me. So anyway, I got this book, and she brought it to school, and I could not take my eyes off the cover. This cover is beautiful, by the way. I love that. That's actually one of the best covers in the series, in my opinion. But yeah, and when I read it the first time, I thought the world of this book. I thought this was the best book in the series. I remember reading it in my principal's office and being blown away by it. And I did overhype it a little bit as a kid because I was very big into like dogs and wolves and werewolves and stuff like that. And I was like, this is the best book. Like, you couldn't tell me anything was better than The Werewolf of Your Swamp at my age of like 10 years old or whenever I read this. I did overhype it a lot. Like, I did a top 5 books on my Instagram, like, based off of memory, and this was my top 5. I don't know if this would be my top 5 now. One day, God willing, I will do a ranking video of these, but yeah, spoiler alert, it was good. I did really like it. But yeah, that's basically my nostalgic memories of the Werewolf Fever Swamp. I do have one more, and it's about the episode. I guess I'll go ahead and mention that here too. I remember I used to be terrified of scary movies. Absolutely terrified. And my dad, we went to a movie store. Again, this is featuring my dad. And we picked up this the Werewolf Fever Swamp on VHS. And Dad said, "You could watch this." He was like, "Are you going to be brave for me and watch this?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." He put it on, and the howling started immediately on the episode. And I remember exactly when I was like, no, I don't want to watch this. And like I left. And now I'm like obsessed with this kind of stuff. So it's kind of funny. But yeah. That's another story. But yeah, I do plan on rewatching the episode 2 of this. But yeah. Now, as far as the book review goes, the story itself follows this kid named Grady, his sister Emily, his mom and dad. They moved to Florida, and they brought these things called swamp deer. And that's the reason why they moved. They want to see how good these swamp deer live in the swamps of Florida. They get there and they build this pen for the swamps or for the deer. And Grady explains that he starts hearing howling at night. He starts hearing howls and different things like that. So him and Emily, they go outside first. They go explore the swamp, and they run into the shack. They see the shack. And this old man comes out, and Grady says that he chases them. He doesn't really chase them, but anyway, they leave. They see this dead animal on the ground, and it's I don't remember what it is. It's some kind of bird, I think. I think like a canary or something. Could be getting that wrong, but yeah, there's a dead animal there. It's described as being like ripped apart. Yeah. Later on that night, the Grady is at home, and he hears something scratching at the door. He hears howls again. He opens the door, and this big wolf jumps on him, but it turns out to be a dog. And Grady doesn't have any friends at this point, so he asks his dad, can he keep this dog? And the dog looks mysteriously like a wolf, and he wants to name this dog Wolf. Sorry. But yeah, he wants to keep the dog, and the parents are like, yeah, maybe. We'll see if nobody like picks him up or something. But yeah. Outside the next day, he runs into this kid named Will. Will pops up, and he introduces himself, says he lives in town or whatever, lives down the road. And they go exploring the swamp again. Not much happens. They do discover a torn up rabbit this time, and it's like described in way more detail than the bird or squirrel or canary or whatever it is. It describes his ear being torn off, which is very cool. So yeah. Long story short, what things begin to happen. Like, you hear howls at night, and this dog starts going ballistic, like he wants to go outside and see what's going on. And he knocks stuff over, and the dad is like, we need to get him out of this house or whatever. He's going to be an outside dog. And, yeah. So the dog takes off, and they leave him outside or whatever. And, yeah. The next couple of scenes happens, and they keep running into a few more. Well, I think there's only one more. But there's a night where he hears the howls, and he hears this wind blowing, and he sees something dark in the woods. And I thought this was fantastic because I do remember one thing about this book, and that's that we don't see the werewolf till the end. And that's true. We don't see the werewolf, but we do see a glimpse of him. Like, I don't know what page or anything like that. But yeah. So he runs out into the night while all this is going on, and the swamp deer get attacked, and the pen is like ripped apart and all this stuff. So him and Will and the dog go exploring in the woods again. The dad thinks that this dog is the one doing this. He doesn't think it's anything else. He thinks it's the dog, and he wants to put the dog away or carry him to the pound and so sorry. So Grady, of course, doesn't want this. This is his favorite dog, or his only dog, but he doesn't want him, anything bad to happen to him. So he wants to prove that there's something out there that is doing all this stuff that isn't his dog. Because his dog is like very playful and stuff. Page 79, we run into this girl named Cassie who mentions the word werewolf. And I thought that was like ridiculous because I was kind of seeing how long it would take to even a werewolf to pop up, and that was the first time. I will say this cover is a very kind of clickbait because it's like, oh, this is gonna be nothing but about werewolves. It's more about like a dog and this kid, but yeah, and these animal attacks. But I thought it was really good because it felt like it was like a small town mystery kind of thing going on. And yeah, there's also this missing guy named Mr. Warner who I totally forgot about when I first read this book. But yeah, the twist, I knew who the werewolf was. Um, Cassie says that it's the swamp hermit. The dad thinks that the dog is doing this. Yeah. So yeah, there's like a big mystery going around on who's the werewolf. I did think the reveal was kind of weak, but it was still. If I would have read this fresh, I do think it would still surprise me because oh, okay, because yeah, I'm not gonna say much about that, but yeah, yeah, the Werewolf of Fever Swamp has some fantastic tension, especially when Grady goes outside and he's like, the werewolf is out there, but you don't, he doesn't know. It's kind of cool how Stein did that. He kind of made it like we don't know, we know what's going on, but he doesn't. And it was kind of one of those things where you're watching a scary movie and you're like, get in there, get back in the house, or whatever. But yeah, I actually had a lot of fun with the Werewolf of Fever Swamp. Yeah, this was actually pretty good. I know the werewolf doesn't show up to the end, but it was still really fun. It's very simple. There's a bunch of animal attacks and things start happening, and there's a werewolf out there, like allegedly. But yeah, the Werewolf of Fever Swamp, as an adult perspective, I give it a 4 out of 5 stars. I do think the pacing was a little off, and the reveal was kind of rushed, and when we find out who the werewolf is, there's really no explanation of where this person came from. Like, really? Like, I would like to get a little bit more on that, but yeah, as far as that goes, Werewolf Fever Swamp still holds up pretty good. Still a really fun book. It felt like a classic book too. This isn't one of my favorites now, but it is a good one. It is probably like an A tier book, like yeah, something like that. I thought about all the ones I gave 4 out of 5 stars to, and this is like actually up there. The only one I'm kind of confused about, and I know I'm just gonna get me some flack. I don't know if I like this better than Werewolf Skin or not. I actually have to look back at Werewolf Skin. I feel like Werewolf Skin was good, but I didn't really remember a lot of it. This here, I feel like I'm gonna remember it for a while. I mean, I don't know what that says about me or whatever, but yeah. 4 out of 5 stars for me for the Werewolf of Fever Swamp. I think that's it for me, guys. Please let me know in the comments below. What did you think about the Werewolf of Fever Swamp? Is it one of your favorite books in the series? I know this is a lot of people's favorites. And yeah, it's a good one for me, but I don't think it's like my favorite. I know some people that don't like it that much. I think Spongy actually doesn't really care for this one that much. But yeah, let me know your opinions on this, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.